Hello, it's been a while since I've done any van guides, so I thought I'd give this one a go. I've decided after nearly 2 years of having this van now that it's probably time to fit a rear view camera. Only I didn't want to screw anything to the back of the bumper and make a mess of it. So I've got myself this new bumper surround, which should replace this one, and this little piece as well from Ford. I don't know whether you can see the part numbers. Either way, I'll stick them up in description or something so you can get them afterwards. But I thought we'd do a nice stealth rear camera install, and we'll have it looking all factory. What could go wrong? To install these two parts, all you're going to need to do is to remove whatever trim there is inside this back door, and then you can get it off with a 10mm socket or spanner, whichever one you prefer. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these two parts installed. Rather than do a messy job inside and put like a mirror in or screw a screen to the top of the dash, I thought I'd do a neat job and I'd get this piece of factory trim that holds the screen in a stock model. Mine didn't have this, but it can get a 5-inch screen in there, so I think I'll get a cheap Chinese one and glue it straight to the back of this. I am doing this on my Ford Transit Custom, but it's probably a very similar process for any other van. If you can get the parts to fit that camera from factory, you can probably fit a small cheap Chinese flush mount camera in for about £5. The main reason I've chosen to go down that route rather than fitting a factory camera is because I think the factory one will actually be a lot harder to fit. I'm pretty sure my van doesn't have the wiring just to plug it in. I don't think it has the wiring in the dash, and I'm not sure whether if you did have the wiring, it's a simple case of literally just plugging it in and the camera works. I don't think it would. I think it needs turning on in the engine management somehow. It'll probably need programming in, and it's a much bigger job than just fitting an aftermarket kit that needs to go to a 12-volt live. Looks like we're getting a bit of the green flash of memory card failure as well on the camera. I'm not a huge fan of the look of the monitors in mirrors. Is that what they're called? I'm not a fan of them. I quite like just having the kind of factory stealth look, as if it was made like that, and that's kind of the look I'm going for with this one. I don't mind the Android head units, but again, if you get a cheap one, they seem to be very slow and laggy. I know people complain especially about Ford units being laggy, but in my experience it's nothing compared to the cheap Android ones. This bit's not particularly interesting anyway, so let's have a bit of music and speed it up. Since my cheap camera won't be here for a while, I think it's coming via the ship from China. It's coming really slow postage anyway, so I thought what I would do is design this little plug and quickly 3D print it just to fit perfectly into the hole in the trim in the bumper. Not the bumper, the number plates around. Anyway, I thought I'd design this trim, this cap to fit basically in the hole, just to stop the muck getting in until the camera arrives and I fit that properly. So yeah, I measured everything perfectly, absolutely perfectly, with a pair of calipers, and yeah, just drew up a quick little plug in CAD and 3D printed it out, ready to fit to the bumper. Now with my carefully measured little plug, perfectly made to fit, I'll go and fit that little camera holder to the trim and get that in place. It's a little bit fiddly to get in case you're doing this. And there we go, we'll just pop this little bung in. Perfect fit first time. Ish. Alright, let's just go and do the bit inside. Now that I've got the number plates around fitted, next part is to remove this part of the dash top. I have my handy trim removal tool and the anti-scratch device. So I just need to pop this out and then pop this one in. Then I can go back later when I get the camera and it finally arrives from China and glue it to the back of this, and we should be good to go. Let's get on with it. Just need to be careful not to scratch the dash with this. Do anything, that's what the cloth is there for. I know there are proper trim removal tools, but this is what I have. It can be a bit of a nightmare to remove. And they're on them spring clips, which like to disappear behind the dashboard, never to be found again. Whoa, dead easy, there we go. Now we fit the nice neat replacement unit that the screen will go into. Ah, fuck. To help pay for these projects, I make Grizzly Bars. All natural soap and shampoo bars that, as you can see, are also great for removing dirty motor oil from your hands. Head over to grizzlybars.co.uk and order one to try today. There's many different varieties. And the best part is you are helping to revive a classic car. So I think I've figured it out. At some point in time, Ford changed the dashboard on these vans. What this has is the basic head unit with a screen on the head unit, and it bulges out of the dash. These dash pods that have the screen in, they were to take a head unit that's actually kind of flush fit or inset a little bit into the dash. The two don't look like they can be swapped over. Now, what I was looking at is, can you put the head unit in that has the flush fit just to go with the screen? And it looks like what they did was take the screen out of the head unit and put it into the dash in a little 3.5 inch screen on the basic models, and then the better models that had sat-nav, maybe as an optional extra, they got the bigger 5-inch screen and the sat-nav unit in them. So on the newer models, I'm not sure exactly which year, further on, it looks as though that unit kind of needs the screen to operate, and it needs a load of other bits and pieces, probably the wiring harness, probably a load of other stuff. So I might just give up. I'm not going to give up completely. What I'm going to do is give up on the idea of retaining this head unit and using that for the screen, what I'll probably do, I'll probably go down the Android route. Like I said, I really like the Android head units. They're amazing, and I think I'll get one of them. At least I had sat-nav with an Android head unit. Yeah, sat-nav, DAB radio. I'll get a few more luxury extras. So yeah, I was hoping to kind of get this all done in one video, one clip, one day. Just do a quick win project and get something out there with a bit of information on it. Other vans, you might be safe for doing stuff like this and you might be fine. The Transit Custom, not really. If you want the reverse camera screen in that unit, you will have to lose the display off your radio. I don't know if the radio works without it. I'm not entirely sure on all the details. I haven't got all the bits to test it and see. I'm not sure which type of wiring they're going with, but yeah. So in conclusion, probably a good idea to check all the parts and check the bits and pieces before you go ahead, buy them and just try and fit them. Yeah, there's going to be a part 2 for this video. I will get it working, and I'll come up with a solution, but it may well be that you have to fit an Android head unit, and the only other real way to do it, I suppose, is if you 3D print a fascia for that radio, or you fiberglass one, or do something like that. But then that's getting into a much bigger load of effort, especially for a one-off. So my advice really would be just go with the Android head unit, or don't try and keep it so neat inside, and either screw a monitor to one of these dash tops or get one of the mirrors with the little screen in it. Yeah, I think that's probably the easiest way. I'm probably not going to take the easiest way. If you want to see part 2 and you want to see what solution I come up with and how I kind of fix all of the bits I've left hanging off, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. And remember to buy some Grizzly Bars just to fund all my mistakes and help me do all these things and find them out so you don't have to. I'll see you next time.